The lost elegance of a time gone by. There was a time when Britain felt like the epicenter of style and sophistication. A time when the way you presented yourself mattered, not just for the elite, but for everyone. In the 1960s, walking down the streets of London or Manchester felt like stepping into a living, breathing fashion show. People weren't just dressed, they were elegant, effortlessly so. But somewhere between then and now, we seem to have lost it. That precision, that pride in appearance, the idea that how you looked was a reflection of who you were. These things faded. Today, it often feels like we've traded in that air of timeless elegance for the hustle of fast fashion and instant gratification. But why? What happened to the sophistication that defined a generation? And can we ever truly reclaim it? Let's take a journey back to those streets, where the British looked their best, and discover how the elegance of the 1960s defined a nation's identity, before it all began to slip away. The spark of style, a revolution in the making. It wasn't just about fashion. No, in the 1960s, style was a revolution, a quiet rebellion against the drab, the predictable, the unremarkable. It was the time when people from all walks of life understood one crucial thing: appearance matters. It wasn't about wearing what was trendy. It was about wearing something that mattered. It was about taking pride in your clothes, knowing that the right fit, the right colors, the right shoes could make you feel something better. Mary Quant's vision wasn't just about miniskirts. It was about making fashion democratic. Before then, fashion was something confined to the elite, hidden in the glossy pages of magazines or the lavish runways of Paris. But Mary brought it to the streets, making it available to anyone who cared to step out and show the world their worth. Her designs were practical but profound, modern but always elegant. The idea was simple: wear something that moves with you but always maintains a sense of grace. And that's where it began, a movement, a shift, a transformation in how Britain saw itself. The mod revolution, precision in every detail. The mods, the youth subculture that would soon define the 1960s, took that concept to the next level. They weren't just looking good, they were obsessed with looking perfect. Every detail had to be immaculate. From their sharp Italian suits to their polished Chelsea boots, everything was precise, intentional, and a reflection of self-respect. The mods didn't have wealth to fall back on, but they had something more powerful: dedication. They understood that looking good wasn't just about money, it was about effort, attention, and pride. It was about believing that your appearance was an extension of your inner world. And when you put in the time and care, even the most modest wage could buy you something that made you feel like you belonged to something bigger than yourself. The mods were working-class rebels, but they didn't dress like rebels. No, they dressed like they were ready for business and for pleasure. Their sleek scooters gleamed in the sunlight, their parkas were chosen for the perfect cut, their hair was carefully styled. Nothing was left to chance. And in their obsession with detail, they created something extraordinary: elegance. The Beatles, changing the world one suit at a time. But it wasn't just the mods who were setting new standards. When the Beatles burst onto the scene in 1963, they did more than revolutionize music. They revolutionized style. Those matching suits, the sleek haircuts, the perfectly coordinated outfits. The Beatles made smart dressing seem youthful, and they did it without a hint of stuffiness. Their style didn't just influence their fans, it defined a new way of dressing, where rebellion and respectability weren't mutually exclusive. They were living proof that you could be a rockin', roll legend, and still look sharp, polished, and precise. The mop-top haircut might have been a bit longer than the norm, but it was neat. Their clothes weren't just clothes, they were a statement. A statement that you could look good no matter who you were or where you came from. In the 1960s, being well-dressed wasn't just about following the rules. It was about creating your own. And the Beatles helped show the world that looking good could be a revolution all on its own. Carnaby Street, the heartbeat of youth fashion. As the Beatles made their mark, another cultural hub emerged, Carnaby Street in Soho. It became the epicenter of British youth fashion, the place where style met rebellion. This wasn't just about flashy colors or cutting-edge designs. It was about a certain precision that still respected the fundamentals. Even the wildest fashions on Carnaby Street were meticulously curated. The colors weren't just thrown together. They were chosen to create something harmonious, something memorable. The small boutiques on Carnaby Street understood the importance of craftsmanship. Even affordable clothes had a level of care that's hard to imagine today. Walking down that narrow street was like entering a world where quality wasn't sacrificed for quantity. The clothing wasn't disposable. It was an investment in yourself. It's no wonder that Carnaby Street became a global phenomenon. It wasn't just about fashion. It was about the cultural value of looking good. It was about how clothes could change the way you felt about yourself and the world around you. The rise of Twiggy, the face of a new British beauty. Then, in 1966, the world was introduced to Twiggy. With her gamine face and pixie haircut, she embodied the essence of 1960s British style, youthful, modern, and above all, elegant. But Twiggy wasn't just a pretty face. She was a symbol of how far British fashion had come. Her look wasn't about expensive designer clothes. It was about proportion, balance, and style that could be achieved with simple, affordable pieces. Twiggy made grooming cool. She taught a generation that looking good wasn't just about buying the latest trends. It was about taking the time to style yourself properly. She became the epitome of British elegance, and her influence extended far beyond the pages of fashion magazines. She showed that style didn't need to be expensive to be elegant. The lost art of dressing. Well, how we let it slip away. But as the decades passed, something began to shift. The elegance that defined the 1960s faded into the background, replaced by a new era of convenience and speed. The care, the pride in appearance, the attention to detail, these things became less important as fast fashion took hold. Somewhere along the way, we lost that sense of pride in our appearance. Clothing became disposable and grooming became an afterthought. We stopped mending our clothes and began to replace them as soon as they wore out. We stopped investing in timeless pieces and started to chase trends that came and went in the blink of an eye. But does it have to be this way? A mini call to action, reclaiming the elegance. Maybe it's time we took a step back, slowed down, and started caring again. Not just about the clothes we wear, but about how we wear them. It doesn't have to mean returning to the 1960s, but we can certainly take a page from their book and reclaim some of that elegance. What if we started choosing pieces with intention, with care? What if we took the time to look after our clothes, to polish our shoes, to press our shirts? Elegance isn't about having money. It's about having pride in yourself. And that's something we can all bring back. The conclusion, a call to look better together. So what happened to the British sense of style? Why did we lose it? Perhaps we became too caught up in the rush of modern life, too focused on quantity rather than quality. We stopped paying attention to the details, the things that made us feel good. But looking back at the 1960s, we realize that elegance isn't about perfection. It's about effort. It's about caring for yourself and your appearance, not for the sake of vanity, but because it reflects the respect you have for yourself and others. And maybe, just maybe, it's time we brought some of that back. So, what do you think? What would you bring back from those stylish days of the 1960s? Let us know in the comments below. Together, let's bring a little more elegance back into our lives. If this story has sparked something inside you, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this journey with your friends. Let's all take a step back and start appreciating the little things that make us feel good, because elegance never truly goes out of style.